Welcome to our virtual Post Legislative Roadshow. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Lisa Colon-Durham, my Director of Certification and Professional Standards. In her presentation, Lisa will discuss new developments in certification and much more. If you have questions about the material that Lisa covers, I encourage you to review the FAQs for her presentation. If the information you need isn't addressed in the FAQ, there's a link on our website and you can use that to submit a question and we'll answer it. Lisa, the floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Lisa Colon-Durham and I am the Director of Certification and Professional Standards. This presentation is part of the post-legislative tour regarding certification items. We will cover several topics in this presentation. We'll start with certification and endorsement revisions, provide an overview of non-traditional routes, updates on alternative authorizations, added examples to the Code of Ethics, updates to the Assignment Credential Manual, and lastly, we'll cover legislative points of interest to include the important change to enumerated offenses in Senate Bill number 1323. And since it isn't interactive, please write down any questions you have and either call or email me with those questions. My contact information is at the end of this presentation. The legislature approved the addition of one endorsement to the Pupil Service Staff Certificate and renamed one endorsement and added pre-kindergarten to two endorsements. First, the new endorsement is an interim endorsement for school psychologist, which may be granted to those who do not meet the educational requirements but hold a master's degree in school psychology and are pursuing an educational specialist degree. It allows for an individual who has a master's degree in school psychology to have a 3-year interim endorsement school psychologist. This allows them to serve as a school psychologist for 3 years while they're completing their educational specialist degree that would lead to certification. This endorsement is similar to the interim endorsement speech and language pathologist currently in law. The Mathematics Basic was renamed to Mathematics Middle Level as it better describes the endorsement and the content area that can be delivered, which is math courses up through geometry. Just a reminder that the grade level 5-9 is for the content level, not actual chronological grade level. This means that an individual with a Mathematics Middle Level 5-9 is appropriately certified to teach geometry or algebra to 12th grade students because the content level is what they're approved to teach. Lastly, pre-kindergarten was added to the deaf, hard of hearing, and visual impairment endorsements. Next on the agenda is non-traditional routes. Currently, there are 4 state board approved routes: American Board, Teach for America, College of Southern Idaho, and Lewis Clark State College. Each route varies in how they prepare and support their candidates. However, there are basically 2 stages for all routes. First, they must qualify for the interim certificate, and then second, complete the conditions during that interim certificate while they are the teacher of record at your school district or charter school. In order for a candidate to qualify for an interim certificate using the non-traditional route, they must have a baccalaureate degree and pass a state board approved content area assessment. If their route is ABCTE, the content area assessment is the completion of all the ABCTE assessments. For all other non-traditional routes, it is the Praxis 2. For CSI and LCSC, there is an option of earning a qualifying score on the Uniform Standards for Evaluating Content Competency rubric if they were not able to pass the Praxis 2 the first time, as long as there is also a plan established with the college to ensure competency in that content. Once the candidate qualifies for the interim certificate, they must seek employment in Idaho. It is important to note that when a district or charter school hires a non-traditional route candidate, they know that they are responsible for continuing their training while that teacher is on the job. As a result, there are conditions that need to be completed while that teacher is the teacher of record during the interim certificate. Both the district or charter school and the candidate are responsible for completing the requirements, which as you can see is 2 years teaching in the specific content area on the interim certificate. In addition, they need to complete a 2-year state board approved teacher mentor program, have 2-year successful evaluations as defined in Idaho Code 331001 subsection 14, and if applicable, they will need to complete the MTI or ICLC. I am very excited to share the following 2 changes that were made to the alternative authorizations. First, districts can now apply for alternative authorization using pupil service staff for individuals who now hold a baccalaureate degree or higher. The candidate will need to enroll in and work toward completion of a school counselor or school social worker program. This authorization previously required a master's degree or higher. Hopefully, this will allow districts and charter schools greater flexibility as they try to fill school counselor and school social worker positions. The second change I'm excited to share is the adding of an endorsement option. As long as the candidate is fully certified with an instructional certificate or occupational certificate, they can add another endorsement area by using the revised option 4 for the teacher to new. This option requires passage of the content area assessment, which is the Praxis 2, and complete a 1-year state board approved mentor program. Previously, option 4 included 2 pathways, and this change removes those pathways. This allows districts greater flexibility as they look to fill specific content area assignments, especially as they look at their current staff to determine if there are staff that would be willing to add additional endorsements to their teaching certificate. Next on the agenda is the Code of Ethics. While there was no change to the actual 10 principles of the Code of Ethics, there were some revisions to the list of potential examples of unethical conduct. Under Principle 2, a new example was added regarding failure to maintain professional boundaries with students. In addition, under the inappropriate contact example, social media was added. With the increase in online donation platforms such as Donors Choose, language was added to Principle 5 to specifically identify online donor platforms as a potential source for school funds. Lastly, additional clarifying language was added under the example regarding images of colleagues. I would like to add that examples under each principle of the Code of Ethics are just that, examples. They are not an exhaustive list of unethical conduct under that principle. Next item covers the assignment credential manual. Similar to last year, there are minimal revisions which were based on feedback from districts and charter schools, and I am pleased to share that the 2020-2021 manual is now available online and can be reached by clicking the hyperlink on this slide. There are 2 revisions that I do want to point out. First, we added a pre-kindergarten Title I-A assignment, as districts and charters are adding preschool for Title I-A funded schools. We based this assignment off of the migrant-only preschool we already have. This will allow districts to have an assignment for candidates who are offering preschool to Title I-A preschool students. Second, we removed the word elective from the exploratory assignment, as the assignment is not meant for elective credit. Rather, it is only used when an assignment code does not already exist. For example, if a student is taking a math intervention course as elective credit, they would still need to use the most appropriate math assignment, which is most likely the general mathematics assignment. They would not use the exploratory assignment. I would encourage districts and charters to review any of their exploratory assignments to ensure they are not using them inaccurately. A few additional items or points for consideration. There is a difference between online curriculum and Idaho Digital Learning Academy. Online curriculum is just that, it's curriculum only, and cannot be used in place of an appropriately certificated teacher. An IDLA course, on the other hand, does include a teacher of record who is responsible for the learning and progress of students who are enrolled in that course. Credit recovery assignments still also need an appropriate certificated individual as the teacher of record. For example, if a student needs to recover an English credit, the teacher of record must hold the English endorsement. Lastly, superintendents are responsible for ensuring data is accurate. Review the assignment credential report early and often, as it is the best method to ensure the district's funding is not reduced due to misassignments. In addition, we will be reviewing the assignment credential report multiple times a year to ensure proper certification and endorsement through the entire school year. Our hope is that with the assignment credential manual available now, districts and charters can start looking at next year now in order to minimize misassignments. Now it's time to cover the legislative points of interest. The legislature directed the State Department of Education and State Board of Education to revise teacher preparation standards. Currently, we are convening a stakeholder work group who will work on this over the summer with the goal of reviewing and revising the standards to reduce regulatory burden and requirements of teacher preparation programs while upholding standards for beginning teachers. This work will continue through 2021 with the goal of proposed revisions going before legislature in 2022. Last item on the agenda is Senate Bill number 1323 regarding permanent revocation for certain crimes. The law impacts not only certification, but employment by districts and charters as well. The bill revised the enumerated offenses listed under Idaho Code 33-1208. Basically, it removed the against a child provision of the felony convictions. This means the enumerated offenses are for any felony conviction of aggravated assault, aggravated battery, murder, voluntary manslaughter, kidnapping, interstate trafficking and prostitution, or rape. Since this is a new law, there may be individuals who currently hold a certificate with one or more of these enumerated offenses. If so, they will be notified of the new law, which requires us to move forward with the revocation process, and they have a right to a hearing. For individuals who have an expired certificate with one or more of these enumerated offenses, we will notify them of the change if they choose to apply for reinstatement of their certificate, and a hearing panel will make a decision on that application. Any and all new initial Idaho applications for certification we receive after July 1st, 2020 with any of these enumerated offenses must be and will be denied. In addition to certification, employment in a district or charter is impacted. For any currently employed staff, there are no implications as the staff was hired under the current law. However, if there is a separation of employment, they could not be employed in a district or charter school. This would also include a break in service within the same district or charter school. For hires after July 1st, 2020, the district cannot hire any staff with these enumerated offenses. This has a direct impact to your hiring process, as new employees with a criminal history will need to be reviewed for any of these enumerated offenses. You may want to review your policies and procedures regarding your hiring process. As always, my staff and I are here to help you. Hopefully you were able to write down questions during the presentation, and I hope that you email me those questions, or please feel free to call me so that I can respond and work with you on any of the concerns or questions that you have. Thank you and have a great day.